Hello, welcome to More with the Mayor. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We have a friend of mine, Jerome Bannister, who's here to talk about Google Glass and how he's going to be testing it for Google in our community. And following that, we have Jim Fichtel representing the American Red Cross, and he's going to talk about some of our local heroes and how you might be able to participate. So first, let's get started with Jerome.
Yes, sir.
And wow, you look a little different there today, Jerome.
Different pair of glasses, huh?
Different pair of glasses and a different world. Tell us about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, I moved to Franklin about 17 years ago. Wife and two kids, both go to Page High School. My background's a photographer and videographer, and I reached out to Google with the glasses because it interested me and wanted to see how I could help the community. Past president of the Rotary Club here for breakfast and president of the sports club for Page High School.
Wow, wow. So you're an official Google Glass Explorer.
Yes, sir.
And so what are you supposed to do as an official Google Glass Explorer? That's a mouthful, isn't it? Google Glass Explorer. What do they want you to do?
What they want us to do is there's a commitment that you make, and for the first year they want to have you report back to them. They send you questionnaires, you do some videotaping, you do some still photography, you help them come up with some application ideas, and you kind of bounce around in what they call a Google Glass Explorer community with other people around the world that are testing the glasses for them.
Do you have any idea how many testers they have?
I don't. I know they've expanded it. It first started out mostly with programmers, and now it's gone into end users like myself. And they're working real heavily now with doctors in the medical field. They're working real heavily with the fire departments and police departments. So it's definitely expanding.
So my question would be, have you run into anybody with Google Glass on in Franklin?
I have not. I have not. I've had a few people walking around ask me about them, but I haven't run anybody else that... I know there are some in Tennessee, but I have not run into anybody.
Well, show us how to use them.
Well, it's easy. It works kind of like your Android or iPhone in that all your applications you have on there would work, most of them would work on the Google Glass. So you can get weather reports, you can get your email, you can do phone calls with it, you can get your text, social media. Like if I want to videotape this room here, I can basically tilt my head up 30 degrees, say, okay, glass, record a video, and that's how easy it is. So now I can shoot Mayor Moore, I can go around and shoot the different studio
show the
stuff
secrets
inside.
of the Franklin
and,
TV studio.
Yeah,
huh?
Exactly. And it does a default 10-second video. I can tap the side of it and it will extend as long as it's got memory or battery life. The glasses have 12 gigabytes of memory, and it does a phenomenal job of taking still photography too. So.
Oh wow, wow. So you've been doing some videos of Franklin. Do we have the opportunity to look at a few of those?
Yes, we did some driving down the main streets of Franklin, walking around the square, driving down Hillsborough Road to see the construction going on and how beautiful that's going to look once the city gets done with that. Driving down out of town, came to the farm and went down the farm and showed the buildings and the pond there, and they have a beautiful dog park which I didn't know existed. I think the pond can be used for fishing and recreational type stuff. It's a gorgeous area. Been doing some things around town. Went out to the Confederate Cemetery, so a lot of good stuff.
Well, do we get an opportunity to see those right now then? Wow, Jerome, that is really fascinating, and what a different perspective to actually look through your eyes on what you're seeing in our community. So how else do you think you'll use it in the future?
Well, I think doing a lot with the community, being real involved in sports. I think that I'm going to see what I can do with some of that for the high school. But the applications are unlimited. You know, there's a chef that's doing videos of it, so you're actually seeing his hands and you're seeing him cooking the recipes. But I think for me, I think it's mostly about learning, trying to help Google come up with some ideas. But it really, the whole purpose of me getting them was to try to help this beautiful town of Franklin get some more, I guess, publicity or more notification to the town to get people to come here.
Well, we always appreciate that. I understand you're going to be doing some things with the Heritage Foundation.
Yes, sir.
I bet my audience is going to want to know the cost of Google Glass.
Well, today, the Google Glass Explorer is still by invitation. You can go and request to be considered at their website. It's $1,500, and then there's tax and stuff involved. They have now just started shipping frames that can take lenses. So you can get your prescription lenses, and I have the lenses ordered. They should be here in a couple of weeks for me because as I've aged, I have progressive lenses. It'll make it a lot easier to do videos, tape stuff with. They are saying sometime probably 6 months to 18 months they will be a consumer model available. This is the second edition that's out now. So.
Oh, wow. We look forward to seeing more in the near future, and if we see Jerome walking around Franklin with some funny looking glasses on, stop him and say hello, and you might just get videoed. So we'll be back in a minute. We're going to entertain our guest Jim Fichtel and learn about the Red Cross.
Good morning, Franklin. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Local news is coming up next. We'll check the weather and the traffic. You have a great day out there.
Good evening, Franklin, Tennessee.
Welcome back to More with the Mayor, and I'm honored to have Dr. Jim Fichtel with me today. He's a board member for the American Red Cross, the Natchez Trace chapter, and he's here to talk to us about Red Cross Month coming up next month. But first of all, I'd like to know more about Jim Fichtel.
All right, so we've lived in Williamson County for about 8 years. I practice emergency medicine downtown at Vanderbilt in the main emergency department, but I also do sports medicine at Vanderbilt Bone and Joint Clinic, involved with the community, covering high schools. Interesting, you know, Jerome was just here. I'm the Page team doctor, so we have that kind of connection going.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do as a sports medicine doctor for Vanderbilt Bone and Joint?
So I'm technically a primary care sports medicine physician, so I do everything except operate. So I take care of any type of injury that comes in. Certainly can assess it, get you started with treatment. If you need to have additional testing, we take care of that. Certainly if you have a surgical issue, then we can certainly get you in touch with the proper surgeons.
And do you do any invasive procedures at all, injections or?
I do a lot of the ultrasounds for our group, and so if anyone needs a deeper injection such as into the hip joint, I can do those using ultrasound right in the clinic. So it's easier on patients, so they don't have to go to another facility or do x-rays. We can just do it right then and there in the clinic.
Oh, good, good. Well, tell us about Red Cross Month. Why?
So Red Cross Month really is it's our national opportunity to thank our local heroes. So the people who, if there's a house fire, they're the first ones there to help you out, our disaster action team. The people who in our community who organize the blood drives, or the people who respond with first aid or CPR that they've learned through the Red Cross. It's really our chance to thank our local everyday heroes and really show our appreciation, because the Red Cross is really it's a volunteer-driven organization.
And what can people at home do to help the Red Cross?
Well, certainly lots of things that you can do. One, volunteering your time is extremely important. Like I said, the Red Cross mobilizes volunteers in terms of disaster, and really making yourself available to help is a huge thing that you can do. Certainly donating blood is also important for our region. And one of the other main aspects, though, is being prepared. So one of the Red Cross mission, in the mission statement, is to prepare and prevent disasters. And so if you're prepared, so you have an emergency kit, you have a plan that you practice, that's a huge step in help preventing loss of life and injury and disasters if you're prepared at home.
So is that a course that I go take, or that people go take, or is there something on the website, or how do we get that information?
There's both, and certainly the website has a tremendous amount of information to how to develop your own kit, what should be in there, blankets, food, water, all those non-perishable items that you need. But certainly, going to our Red Cross Center, which is actually here in Franklin, our chapter's based just over behind the Carter House, and we can get you, if you're not web-based or internet-based, if you just need handouts, we have all those available for you too.
And certainly we do have challenging times in our city, but you mentioned various tragic events. How many responses does our local chapter respond to each year?
Last year, our chapter responded to 90 local events. And so the tornadoes in Hickman County, numerous fires, unfortunately. Even when a nursing home lost power, the Red Cross gets called because you may have to open up a shelter. So there's been 90 local disasters, and we've helped almost 250 people have been displaced. So we put them up with housing, we give them money to buy groceries, clothing, we provide clothing for them, all for our local area.
Sure. So heroes, volunteers are your heroes. And what other resources can we give back to the Red Cross besides blood?
Certainly time. The Red Cross will never turn away a financial donation, but that's certainly a big aspect of it. But we certainly need volunteers. That's the biggest thing, and making yourself available when things happen, and even just donating blankets when we have big disasters that come through, such with the floods and shelters had to be open. If you can provide blankets and water and take them to the shelter, that's tremendous.
Sure. I understand the Red Cross has come into the modern age. There's an app that you can get for your phone. So if I download that app, how's it going to help me?
So the app is great. It deals with all sorts of different emergencies, either earthquakes, fire, hurricanes, tornadoes. It talks about how to develop your own kit, practicing your plan, not forgetting about your pets as well as part of the plan. It even has basic first aid on that app.
Oh, wow. Good, good. So they would just go to the App Store and download the Red Cross app, and then they're set in case they forget what happens in an emergency room.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you want to add about Red Cross Month?
Yeah.
I think we're going to do a proclamation one night at our board meeting,
We are, yes. And so
and perhaps we may see a flag somewhere in the city.
hopefully we can fly a flag or a banner celebrating this. Really, the only thing I'd like to add is just really thanking our local volunteers. They do a tremendous service to our community, and we're very appreciative for them. And please, if you have any inclination or would like to help out, please go to the website or even call our local chapter.
And I think that you can see the website location and phone number on the screen right now to help people. And finally, in wrap up, you know, we did have a pretty big disaster in May of 2010. Did the Red Cross mobilize at that time?
Oh yeah, certainly. You know, opening up shelters, you know, both in our area as well in Davidson County, numerous shelters got opened up for that, and it wasn't quite as big as when Katrina happened, but it was still, you know, lots of people needed help, and we were able to help them out.
Jim, we appreciate your being a guest on the show, and we look forward to the opportunity to honor Red Cross Month in March, and appreciate you being part of our community as one of our physicians that offers care, and also you're giving back to the community as being a board member of the Red Cross. So that's the end of our show today. We look forward to another show coming up soon, and that's it for More with the Mayor.